What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T-Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information, stay for the random clips. The second quarter has ended and earnings season is kicking off. This means that it's time for my Q2 full transparency update. But before we get into it, there are a few notable things to cover. First, Tesla released the latest update of their autonomous driving software, FSD version 9 beta, and that was super early Saturday morning. Let's just say that the first driving footage looked impressive, and the future is now. I posted a few links on my Twitter if you're interested to go and see that. Other major event taking place this weekend is the Virgin Galactic first full cabin crewed flight, and that's going to be with Sir Richard Branson on board. It will be live streamed early Sunday morning, and I have a link in the description below. By the time you see this video, or see my video, I should say, we should be celebrating what is hopefully a successful flight. So super pumped about it. I'll be getting up early and checking that out. Last but not least, the channel is now up to 66 subscribers. A big thank you to those of you who have joined over the last few months. Liking, sharing, and subscribing is the best form of support you can give me and the channel to keep it growing. All right, so with that said, let's go over what you all came here for, which is essentially, how did I do these past 3 months? So in today's video, we'll take a look at my account performance versus the broader market and answer whether or not I'm still outperforming the market. Then we'll discuss what adjustments I've made and the why behind it, and close with the strategy moving forward and where I expect the account to be by the end of Q3. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by grounding ourselves on how the market has performed overall during Q2. And to do that, we'll look at the respective returns, the three major indices, namely the SP 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ saw this past quarter. The SP 500 bottomed out on May 12th, but managed to close the quarter with a gain of 5.83%. The Dow Jones bottomed out just over a month later on June 18th, but closed the quarter with a gain of 3.16%. Finally, the NASDAQ bottomed out on May 12th as well and closed the quarter with a gain of 5.77%. Relatively speaking, the NASDAQ, which is home to most growth and tech stocks, saw the highest decline but also the strongest recovery to date. Despite the volatility, all three indices saw a net gain. The sector rotation is the reason bottom was hit at different times, which makes sense if you really think about it, but more later on why those dates are relevant. Now let's take a look at my account specifically. Okay, so you all want to know how much the account is now worth, right? So that's why you're here. And because I know some of you with eagle eyes will more than likely notice this, my quick disclaimer here is that the total account value is fluctuating between frames, and that's simply because crypto, again, never sleeps. So today is Saturday, and at the time of the recording, the account is worth $109,908.81. It is up by 0.19% or $211.50 since the day started. So pretty good, pretty happy with that. Moving on to the weekly view, the high point had the account at $121,045.14. This is good for a gain of 2.72% or $3,210.54 before we saw the steep decline as a result of the sell-off on Thursday. So that was good for just under 14% lost or $16,180 in the red, and ultimately a weekly decline of 6.76% worth $7,961.21. So why the big sell-off? You'll get many reasons from people trying to justify it, and the bottom line is this. We've had a solid week to week and a half of the market moving higher and higher, making higher highs, and all three major indices essentially kept breaking records. So it was due for profit taking. It's literally that simple. And if you think that it was something else like the Delta variant, the inflation scares, taper concerns, and whatever other narrative was probably thrown out there, just ask yourself this. Why did we bounce right back on Friday and close in the green with another record, right? So just think about that. Profit taking, that's really what it is. Sometimes that's all it is, and that's okay. So moving on to the monthly view, we're back in the green with a net gain of $1,103.59 or 1.01%. And once we move on to the quarterly view, which is what we care about, that's the full picture, we see a gain of $18,308.37, or 20%. The highest point was reached on May 7th, worth just over 133K, for a gain of 45.53%. And the lowest point in the quarter was on May 23rd, where I dropped below six figure again. So what is the verdict? Well, with a gain of 20% this quarter alone, I would say that yes, definitely my returns are outperforming the market by a multiple of 3 on a relative basis. For anyone new to the channel, this is probably a good time to note that I'm not a financial advisor, and this therefore only represents my approach based on the risk level I'm willing to take and tolerate. So make sure you do your own research. Certainly feel free to use this as a reference point, but don't copy what I'm doing, is basically what I'm saying. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the adjustments I've made this quarter. First off, I sold every short and medium term position I had and rolled that into my highest conviction positions only. I also trimmed Tesla, ChargePoint, and Dogecoin. And finally, I increased my Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Virgin Galactic holdings. So as it stands, my Robinhood account is comprised of 4 stocks and 3 cryptocurrencies. I'm comfortable with the price movement in each one of these and my expectations of their future trajectory. So why did I do that? Dogecoin reached its peak on May 6th. Cryptocurrency, generally speaking, lost 50% or more of its value by May 22nd. I recognized that there was an opportunity to shift my gains from Dogecoin and the short-term positions I had into buying up Virgin Galactic, Ethereum, and Bitcoin at a major discount. So pretty hard to pass that up. I made the plunge, and I've been averaging down my position and increasing my holdings into those 3 specifically. That decision has paid off nicely already on Virgin Galactic, with over 100% returns on what I bought during the downtrend. Trimming Dogecoin, Tesla, and ChargePoint made sense to me because 1, there was sufficient gains there to be redistributed into those, and 2, because I expected that based on the upcoming catalysts and the macro environment, we would see a slower recovery into Q3. So that would give me time to buy back essentially what I sold. Finally, even though Ethereum and Bitcoin have been dragging down the account, and that's essentially because we've been range bound, the one thing to remember is that the longer we stay in this range, the more I can continue to accumulate and drop my average down. So near term, it's a headwind, but long term, I'm confident that this will be a net positive. I kind of think of those two as heavy training weights for the account, and when I think of that, this comes to mind.
Ah, that is better. Now I will be able to move freely.
I know. It's pretty random, but that's what comes to mind when I think about this. Just like Rock Lee was able to move more swiftly and hit his target after he dropped the weights, the account should reach new record highs when the crypto bull run resumes in the coming months and we get into net positive territory. Mark my word. And if you're wondering why I'm so confident that this will actually happen, you can always follow me on Twitter, and that's where I usually post most of my crypto news. And believe me, there is no shortage of bullish and supporting signs that the adoption rate is accelerating and broadening. So where do I go from here? During my Q1 earning call, I told you that I expected the account would reach $150,000 by the end of the year. While during Q2, we got as high as $133,000, and that was before I made these adjustments. So I'm more confident than ever that I'm not only going to get to the target of 150, but I could even exceed that. But again, for now, we'll keep it simple and we'll just reiterate the guidance of 150. And if that's all we're able to achieve, that is still a 100% return on my investment for the year. I'd say that's not bad at all. And again, comparatively, if we look at the SP 500, which is arguably the best benchmark for the market broadly, that is expected to reach the 4,600 level by the end of the year. And despite all the doom and gloom narratives that will no doubt hear between now and the end of the year, so think the COVID Delta variant, warnings around inflation, and worries tied to the impact of the Fed tapering on the market, don't lose sight of the fact that every single money manager and economist I found were worth listening to for perspective have that higher target for the SP 500 in mind. And ultimately, that would translate into a gain of 20% for the S&P for the year. So the second half of this year has a fairly optimistic macro setup. And again, if I'm able to achieve what I think I'll be able to, that would definitely be a 5 up on the SP 500 returns. So clearly outperforming the market. And yeah, definitely excited to see if that plays out the way I'm expecting. Now, obviously, there's always the unforeseen, which is why I'm going to continue to keep an eye on the macro environment at large. But the plan moving forward is simply going to be this. I'm going to continue to be opportunistic and take advantage of those red days when I can, as long as the overall trajectory of the market is moving up. And it's really that simple. Well, this is it for my Q2 performance review, and overall I'd say I'm pretty happy with the account finally closing a quarter in the 6-figure range. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them. If you made it to the end of the video and enjoyed the content, smash the like button if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. For my newcomers, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content. As a reminder, I usually post every Sunday and occasionally during the week. With that said, thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.